Okay, I'll give you all two guesses on what I was for Halloween. And your first guess does not count. Ah, that was a great Halloween this year. Walked around Hollywood with my girl. Basically, spent the entire night just looking at just awesome, crazy costumes. Did you know that for women, all you have to do is get some lingerie and just add some ears, a tail, or some wings to it, just depending on the color of your lingerie? This is the way it seems the color code goes. If you are wearing black lingerie, get some ears and a tail and say you're a cat. If it's red lingerie, get yourself some horns and a tail, say you're the devil. If it's white lingerie, you get yourself some wings and a halo and say you're an angel. That's it. Oh, if you want to mix it up with the black one, you could toss some black wings on there and say you're a fallen angel. That seems to be the code out there in Hollywood all night that night too. I only really applauded the people who really went all out with their costumes and actually got into it. If you put on lingerie with the tail and some ears or whatever and said you were in costume, no, you weren't. What are you? A potential rape victim? What are you going to be for Halloween? I'm going to be a potential rape victim. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on to the legislative roundup for today. Coming at you a little late, had some technical difficulties on my first upload, so I'm just gonna bring you a completely second upload, and my cat's gonna clean himself for the day. Right now, all of you guys out there are jealous of my cat. Bet you wish you could been like that. Anyways, not much really going on for the legislative roundup. A lot of some of the same old stuff, same old stories, and then basically just a very short list of actually what's going on. Federally, our presidential hopeful Bernie Sanders for Democrat, he wishes to introduce a bill, regardless of presidentiality. He wishes to introduce a bill to lift the federal classification of marijuana. Last week, he actually announced during a speech in Virginia how he plans to submit a legislation aimed at removing marijuana from the Controlled Substance Act. Basically, this would completely eliminate the illegality federally and allow states to come up with their own laws regarding the regulation of marijuana. It would allow banks to be able to work with said businesses. Basically, with Bernie Sanders' new legislation, if it goes ahead and goes through and passes, we could see a complete change throughout the entire nation after that. In North Dakota, moving on to our states now, North Dakota has actually submitted some initiatives to the Secretary of State. If these initiatives get approved by the Secretary of State, those initiatives will go ahead and be moved up to the Attorney General. From the Attorney General, if it's approved by the Attorney General, it will then need another 13,500 signatures by the people of North Dakota to go ahead and pass and become an actual legislation on the ballot and all that stuff. So here's to North Dakota starting to move forward. You know what? Wishing you guys the best of luck. I hope it passes. I talked about it last week. Maine came up on the legislative roundup. Their two groups are joining forces to make a super initiative to go ahead and push Maine's legalization within the ballot. Sitting here hotboxing myself. So Maine's moving forward with everything. And in Arkansas, unfortunately, due to grammar and spelling, one of their initiatives actually just got denied. It's going to take a lot of corrections before it can come back up for review again. But they're saying basically you have to spell this stuff out right. It has to be spelled correctly. The grammar has to be proper. If not, basically you're allowing for legal loopholes for illegal operations to come out and happen. Remember, that's what your government's looking for. Your government's looking to stop any type of illegal loopholes as much as possible. That's why some of these initiatives, some of these things sound like stereo radio jarbish of static. I don't understand half of it. Mostly it's due to the fact that, it has to be worded just right. It has to be spelt just right. It's just the way it is in legislation. I mean, that's the High Time Legislative Roundup. Like I said, it was really short, so I'm just going to go ahead and bring you on to a second subject I thought actually was pretty cool. It's going back onto the federal side, dealing with our president, Barack Obama. As we all know, he's on his way out of office. So on his way out, he is deciding to go out kicking and screaming. And right now, he's asking to break the cycle of incarceration. Basically, as we stand, each year, over 500,000 people are released from the prison system, only to find that there are no jobs, no training, not even mental services for them to actually help themselves move and become a proper member of society. When they come out, they're branded a criminal right away. So when they go out to fill out an application, there's a little box down at the very bottom of the application or close to where you sign it that says, have you ever been convicted of a felony or a criminal, whether you pled guilty or not, blah, 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 blah. You're supposed to check yes if you have and no if you haven't, because they will run your background check, whatever. In the end, it's a right to know act. Your employer has the right to know, but at the same time, they judge you on it. He's a criminal. I don't know what he did. Doesn't say what he did. Oh, drug charge. Nonviolent drug offense. Okay, well, we don't want no drug users on our property. Gone. Okay, theft. Gone. Third strike speeding. Gone. Really doesn't matter. Regardless of how much experience, years of experience these people would have in that work field, they will deny those people jobs. So, once again, it goes down to the training too. What's the point of having training for a job you can't have because you're branded that criminal? And this is actually part of what Barack Obama wants to stop. This trend of release, and then they have to go back into a criminal lifestyle in order to support anybody. Or else the rest of us is going to look down on them and brand them a criminal and say, why do you live in such poverty doing what you do? Well, I don't know. Maybe because the government has made it that way, that they're stuck doing that because they got busted with a little bit of marijuana and now they're criminals for the rest of their lives. Unable to get a job due to the fact that, well, they were just busted with some marijuana. Something that's now almost becoming legal. Like Tommy Chong's new show, almost legal. We are actually coming up to where Congress is considering cutting the sentences for non-violent drug offenders. And with that happening, we're going to be seeing a lot of people being released from prison systems only to come up and finding out that they can't get a job because they're criminals still. Or jobs are not going to hire them because they found out that they've been convicted of something. So what's going to happen? These people are probably going to end up becoming criminals, doing criminal activities because that's what they learned in the prison system, and that's what they've been told throughout their whole sentencing in the prison system is this is how you do it and when you get out. So what's going to happen? You see it. It's just keeps happening, just a trend, just over and over and over. And it's not their fault. In the end, it really isn't their fault. I mean, it sounds bad to say, no, it is. Yes, it is. It's all their fault. They could do this. They could do that. No, they can't. Obama's actually asking Congress to ban the box, referring to the small little area I was talking about in the application that says, have you been convicted of a crime, whether pled guilty or blah, blah, blah. He wants to ban that box altogether. Do not let that be a factor in whether or not this person moves on to the interview process. Jobs have the right to background check you. They have the right to look you up and see whether or not you have been in jail or in the prison system. Let them find out that way later on in the process. But let them consider you first before they brand you that criminal. Maybe they might pull you into that interview and see how well dressed you are and how you present yourself and say, this guy's the perfect guy for my job. Then they find out, oh, he was incarcerated. You know what? We'll just overlook this because the guy that was sitting before me was not the criminal I see on this piece of paper here. Once again, ban the box. I agree with that one. Basically, almost all the candidates are in support of helping ex-criminals find employment. So you're not going to find one candidate out there against it. And with that in regards, one of our candidates, our Governor Chris Christie, because of the fact that this speech by Obama was actually done in New Jersey, Chris Christie actually comes out to say he is taking credit for something he has nothing to do with, talking about Obama's little speech. He has not done anything on criminal reform in 7 years as president. Well, I don't know. Maybe due to the fact that in the past 7 years, we've barely started hitting the tip of the iceberg when it comes to marijuana reform. It's only been recreationally legal for the past 2 years in 4 states out of 50. Okay, it's medically legal in what, 16 states? Or no, 24 states now. We're up to 24 states that are recreational. So half the nation is medically legal. That includes the 4 states that is recreationally legal. They are also medically legal. So we're moving forward. We're going forward. As much as anybody would hate to fight it and say, no, we're not, it's happening. We're legalizing. We're becoming a legalized marijuana nation. And as the rest of the world watches us do it, they're realizing, hey, it's our turn too. Lots of stories out there about this country and that country, Canada's new prime minister, and Italy decriminalizing, and UN decriminalizing all drugs, and all these different talks and stuff of what's going on throughout the world. I think the world is finally opening its eyes to realizing that the drug epidemic is not really a crime, more as it's a disease, something that needs to be taken care of. So, as I always tell you guys, I'm going to go ahead and head out of here. And now on my signing out, remember to educate before you medicate. You all have a peaceful, positive, and productive day. Coming at you guys.